Welcome everyone to this amazing series that we have lined up here today, which is an element of Express series by Sonalis Cubo. And we have a very, very important guest with us who is going to be discussing at length about this very I should say interesting disease because that is how Mr. Salil Jain has made it so interesting and so clear for most of us who's going to be listening to us today. So, yes, welcome, Salil ji. And before I go further in introducing you to all my viewers, I would begin today's show by sharing a little bit about what I feel about our conversation today.
Yes.
Probably many physicians, who are treating the patients, coming from the same age group, coming from the same parity of the disease, getting probably the same treatment, but they respond very differently to the disease. And probably this goes way back to the writings more than 2000 years old, when Plato and Galen said that unless you understand that there is a whole connection between the mind and the body and the health of that person, you cannot treat one part which is not cured by of that person. In order to cure that one part, you have to understand the whole of that person. And I think that is where the survivors comes in. And this is a very interesting fact because I think the moment we realize this fact that there is a connection between the heart, the mind, the body, and the health is where we understand that there is a shift happening with the way the doctors are treating the patients these days, because the idea, the will to live is coming forward, the will to understand the disease that you're combating, the way Salilji you've done it, the will to help others, share your information with others, and definitely understanding that overall you should not leave the phenomena of hope. And ladies and gentlemen, I want on that note to you to understand that today's gentleman is all about that. He is a warrior who fought a battle with the absolutely incredible disease cancer, Mr. Salil Jain, who is also happens to be the founder of the Survivors. And yes, Salilji, so I'm totally enthralled and so very welcome in today's conversation, Salilji. I'm so glad that you are here with me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you and share my experiences of cancer. So thank you so much. Thank you.
So, Salilji, there's so much that I want to ask you, but I want to begin from the place where, in the year April 2013, when you were diagnosed with rectum cancer, which was about within a year of you losing your mother. And I understand that what a turmoil it must have been for you. But I want you to start today's conversation by sharing your personal journey from that particular moment, because I think that would give the viewers and me a better understanding about your background.
Right. Okay. So you see, I lost my mother in 2012. And of course, I was extremely attached to her. I mean, like most of us are to our moms.
Sure.
So, soon after that, I think, my cancer started developing inside and my health was slowly deteriorating. And of course, by the time we could catch it, it was April 2013. And, it, heaven just broke loose on us. Why? Because we said we've just lost our mother. And now it was my turn to go, maybe. So that was the first thought that comes. The moment you get cancer, the first thought that hits the family is, oh, he's going to go. So naturally, we were very, very upset. And, then we said, no, let's gather ourselves and let's see what can be done or not. And then we also thought that, look, there's a lot of medical advancement and modern day treatments have come in. So why not think that, yes, I can get cured. So the first step was that I said, no, let's get into a positive frame of mind.
Okay, Salil, I'm stopping you here because I think one or two of my viewers are not able to hear you very well. So maybe if
Okay.
you can bring the microphone close to your mouthpiece, it's going to be more audible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is
Right.
yeah. Is that better?
Better. Much better. Much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see, with that a change of our mindset, that yes, I can get cured because of the new advanced treatment available. We set about finding out as to how and where I can get myself treated. Now, you always one heard that Mumbai is number one in technology and in treatment.
Yes.
So we rushed to Mumbai and we went around to 4 hospitals there, understood whatever is the treatment. We went to 4 hospitals in Bangalore, trying to find out what is the right treatment. And then, if that was not enough, we also took opinion from USA, we took opinion from Singapore, we took opinion from Australia, all these places as to what is the right treatment for me. And then finally, we boiled down to Manipal Hospital in Bangalore, because they had robotic surgery available in those days. In those days, even Mumbai did not have it. So here they had it, number one. Number two, I also found that they were following the international protocols for treating cancer. Now, cancer treatment is quite standardized now all over the world, and you're supposed to handle a particular cancer in a particular way, the treatment. So what happened was that when we found, because we had gone around so many places, and when we found that Manipal Hospital is, giving us the best, we decided on that, and I got into it.
So what was this, how
Yes.
long was this journey, right? From finding out so many different hospitals and then deciding down for the one.
Yeah, it took me almost 1 month to find out. But then, you see, why did I spend this time? That is the thing to understand.
Yes.
I was well aware that cancer treatment, the first treatment is the most important treatment. If you go wrong in the first treatment, then your journey changes and your treatment changes, your life changes. So therefore, I was very, very particular that I must find out from many sources and be sure before starting the treatment as to what I'm getting into, that I'm getting into the right treatment. You see, because you see, no use blaming doctors. Every doctor has his own way of treating and has his own, thought process. So I'm not a medical man. So I said, if I, take opinion from many, then go by the principle that the majority wins. So that's the way I took it. And also I found out the international standards. So that helped me a lot, and it helped us to decide and close in on
So
Manipal
I
Hospital.
have this just one question. Like your journey was just elementary. Like it has just started off in terms of finding out about so
Absolutely.
many hospitals and so many different procedures. What are the protocols, etc.
Yes.
So was anyone helping you in it? Like how were you going around that journey? I'm sure now people it will be easier because you have a foundation by the name of the survivors where people can just reach out to you. You have done the job for them, but
Right.
who did this job for you is what I'm intrigued about.
It was myself only doing it, and did a lot of research on the internet.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, you see, because I met so many doctors,
Right.
so it helped me to gather information, some information from everybody.
Sure.
And then also I did my a lot of reading up on internet. The internet is a very risky place. You see, what
Yeah.
happens is it's full of, you will have websites which will say there's nothing called cancer.
Hmm.
Those are also there. So therefore, I had to learn which are the right places to go to, and then find out what exactly it is, and then I could zero in and could start my treatment.
So it's been like now 7 years, you're going through this disease and you are helping so many other people with it. And so I would like you to please share your acquaintances with cancer over the last 7 years. What is your acquaintances that you feel you've encountered?
Yeah, you see, basically, after finishing my treatment, you see, uh, because of my own treatment, I had and my will to learn and to find out more and more.
Yes,
I could learn a lot about cancer, and then what happened was that the interest came in,
true.
and the one thing that happened was that when I got operated, the very next day, my surgeon, he came up and told me, requested me to counsel a patient, a lady patient with a similar disease, and who was extremely nervous and upset about going in for an operation.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, Mr. Jain, why don't you counsel? Because I find you to be very positive.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, fine, that's fine. So just after a day of my operation, those people came into my room. And instead of lying down, I sat up. I said, I must sit on a chair and talk so that will give her confidence that, hey, nothing goes wrong. And then I counseled her and her family. And after 2 days, she got herself operated. In fact, as luck would have it, she came in, got herself operated, and went back. And I was still in the hospital because I took 15 days. There was some complications that developed, and I took 15 days. She came in 5-6 days. She went back. So that's the story, and that was the beginning of my journey of helping others. So I understood that exposure gave me the understanding that, look, people need the right information, and if you get it from a person who's gone through the mill, then it becomes much easier for the patient and the family to understand and go ahead with it.
But Salil ji,
So
आप में वो confidence कहाँ से आया? आपकी surgery हुई and you got up, you didn't even lie down. You had that presence of mind to sit up and give
yes,
that confidence to
yeah.
that lady who was going in for a surgery. I mean, is it like you're very spiritual from very long? Do you think it's because of your background from somewhere coming from a strong mindset, or is it like you are generally like this?
Well, I would say all blessings of God and blessings of my
Oh, you
parents.
cannot be that modest. So you have to put some credibility on yourself. So
um,
yes, we would come to the mental strength later, but yes,
yeah.
go on. Would you like to share
Yeah.
something more about your acquaintances over the last 7 years?
Yeah. So then you see, after this, what I thought is that if I have to really help people, then I must acquire the right knowledge about
Sure.
cancer.
Yeah.
So, I went ahead and did a course on cancer survivorship from one of the universities in USA
Mm-hmm.
to acquire the right knowledge. I
Mm-hmm.
also started reading a lot of research papers,
Mm-hmm.
and I also started reading a lot of medical journals
Mm-hmm.
on all these various aspects of cancer. And by doing all this slowly, I gathered a lot of information, and that's how I think I've been able to help. By now, I must have helped at least 30-40 people go through the treatment and guide them. And you see, what happens is that in the beginning itself, there's a big problem as to how to go about it, how to do, what to do. What is cancer itself, people don't know. It's just, you get nervous. So therefore, I took this trouble of going through all the papers and learning, though I'm not a medical man
I do
still,
understand.
but then, God has been kind to me that I've picked up.
But viewers, this is why I said in the beginning of the conversation that the first will to fight this disease is to get involved with it yourself 100% and actually acquire the interest of doing the research on your own protocols, which you are going to be following. That's what exactly Salilji did. And Salilji, I remember that day when I was in conversation with you, you said, Vayjayanti, when a person is diagnosed with cancer, there is nothing called you become relieved of it and you are called a survivor. The moment a person is diagnosed with cancer, he is a survivor. So I would want you to shine a light on that. And also, according to you, why is cancer survivorship so important? And do you think people do understand the importance? Or should I ask you, in India, what is the consciousness about this survivorship?
You see, what happens is that internationally, once you are diagnosed with cancer, then you're called a cancer survivor. They don't call you a cancer patient. They call you a cancer survivor till your last breath. Now, why is it so? Why do we do this? So unfortunately, you see, cancer is a disease which can recur any time in your life, anytime, anytime. So I know of a case, breast cancer case, which has recurred after 17 years. So, what happens is that normally you've got treated and the doctors tell you, hey, you're cured, and you get back to your normal life. But then here what happens is, in cancer, you cannot ever think that it's not going to come back for sure. It may come back, it may not come back. It's like that. But the longer time you have spent disease-free, the lesser the chance of its coming back. So therefore, you are called a cancer survivor all throughout your life. So that's point number one. Now, answering to your question on survivorship. Now, you see, what exactly is survivorship? You see, in fact, in India, I find, while all these years when I've been meeting people, a lot of people don't even know what is cancer survivorship. What is it? That is cancer survivorship. So you see, basically what happens is that once you have completed your treatment, you've gone through the treatment and you've completed it, treatment, the thing that comes up is, what next? Now, generally, in most of the hospitals, and the cancer patients are told that, hey, now you're cured.
Yeah.
Whatever had to be done has been done.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and start enjoying your normal life. Mm-hmm. Come to us after 3 months for checkups. And that is the follow-up. But what is there is actually is that there are a lot of do's and don'ts after you have completed your treatment. Now, for example, the first thing is that you've gone through the mill. So your body has taken a lot of beating. A whole lot of things have gone wrong in your body, actually. So the first thing is that you need to be assessed of your present state of health. And whatever has gone wrong, those things need to be set right. Mm-hmm. So that is the first thing to be done. Mm-hmm. Now, apart from this, what happens is that there are a lot of side effects that are there in cancer. And these side effects some of them can be immediate, some of them can be happening even after years of your treatment. So therefore, a cancer patient as well, or rather I would say, let's use the word survivor. The survivor and his family must know that, look, what are the treatment's side effects, how to handle it, how to deal with it, and all that. Even then, the recurrence, as I told you, can happen. So how should I watch? So what should be the surveillance? How should I watch out that, yes, whether it's coming back or not, whether it has come back or not? So if I am not equipped with all that knowledge and I carelessly go and keep enjoying life, then one day I am caught unawares. In fact, in cancer, that is the biggest trouble, that you get caught unawares, and when you reach the oncologist, it's pretty late. And the doctor always says, I wish you had come earlier, then I could have caught you.
Yeah, true.
So like this, and then also, what should be your lifestyle? That's another thing to be taught to the survivors. So what should you eat? What should you not eat? There are certain foods that fight cancer. There are certain foods that can promote cancer. So therefore, all these things have to be taught to the cancer survivor, and guidance has to be given so that they are well equipped to, be vigilant and take steps so that recurrence chances are minimized, and also they can bounce back to normal life and a happy life. So that is why cancer survivorship comes in. Unfortunately, in India, doctors are too busy treating patients. You see, every month there are about 1 lakh new cancer cases in India. And also what is happening is that with the advancements of medical treatment, the number of cancer survivors is also increasing. So therefore, you have a scenario where you have a large population of cancer survivors in India.
So it's like you have to treat the new, and at the same time, you have to look after the ones who are the survivors.
Exactly. So now the doctors don't have the time. So somebody should take care of them, should guide them. And that is how I landed up starting this cancer survivor.
Yes, and that actually brings me to the start of this very important topic as to how did you plan to start the survivors? What can you tell us about your organization and all the details about it? Because I'm sure that a lot of the viewers would be really interested to know your journey with the survivors and what made you start it. What all do you offer in it? Because I think that is a very key important topic of our today's conversation.
Right. You see, having gone through the journey myself, and then I found that the cancer survivors do not have this education going on, or the care, the survivorship care that is required. And therefore, I thought that I must start it, because you see, first I started it for myself, and then I started helping people. And as I met more and more people from different hospitals and different cities and towns, also, I found everywhere that cancer survivorship in its true sense is not very prevalent. Most of the places, if I asked and inquired, they said, yes, of course we do cancer survivorship. Okay, so what is it that you do? They said, hey, look, I ask him to come after 3 months, and then I check up. And then again, we ask them to come after another 3 months, and again we check up. So that is a follow-up.
That's a follow-up.
That's a follow-up. But what happens is that the cancer survivor has to be educated, and also he has to be processed through so many things so that his chances of recurrence is reduced. Otherwise, having gone through the mill and spent all the money and the time and gone through the pain, it can go waste. So therefore, it's extremely important that the cancer survivor learns about cancer survivorship, takes those steps so that his journey doesn't come to an end sooner. So that's the idea with which I started this. Now, what we do is that once a cancer survivor's treatment is over, then he or she comes to us, and what we do as a first step is to have an assessment done. What is the current state of affairs of his or her body? And what are the effects of cancer treatment that has already happened? That somebody may lose a limb, somebody may lose an organ, a whole lot of things are there. Then, so that is one thing. So there are 11 or 12 parameters that we, have it checked and tested. And then for each and every parameter, wherever we find a deficiency, we refer them to the specialists so that those things can be attended to, and good health is restored as much as possible, to the best possible. So that's one thing that is done. Now, the other thing that we do is that we prepare a 5-year surveillance plan, a follow-up plan, and give it to the patient. Now, why? What is this? What happens is that you see, normally when you are told by a doctor that yes, you come after 3 months, he goes after 3 months, checking is done. Hey, everything is fine. You're rejoicing. Come after 3 months. Okay, he goes again after 3 months. Like this, it happens 2, 3, 4 times. So in about say 1.5 years, the patient and their family have got very, very comfortable, and that yes, now I'm through. Cancer is gone. There's nothing to worry, and they
Become very relaxed
reckless.
or
They
probably
become
careless. Yeah.
relaxed, and even I would say reckless. Let me use the word.
Yes. True.
So and that is when if the disease is creeping in, you are not aware, you do not put your attention to it. And also what happens in this is that suppose disease is creeping in, you'll get some aches, pains, this, that. So you will go to your GP, normal. He will start giving you some medications.
True.
So you don't go to your oncologist. Actually, you need to go to your oncologist.
Right.
But here, that doesn't happen. He goes to GP. GP keeps on giving him some medicines, and that's how the time passes by. And again, the cancer has developed a little more, and only after that you go, and then you catch it again.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, what we do is that we give you a 5-year plan. Now, why 5 year? Now, worldwide, till such time that a cancer patient has spent disease-free 5 years of time, he is not called cured. So to say cured.
So
okay? 5 years is the window.
Right.
So only after you have completed 5 years, disease-free, then the doctors say that now your chances of recurrence is very, very less. Even then they will not say that there are no chances of recurrence. Your chances are less. That's the way it is.
We'll always keep that window.
So now, yes. So therefore, what we do is that 5 years has become an important issue. Right. So therefore, what I do is that we'll make a 5-year plan that every 3 months come and get yourself checked and tested. So we'll give you also what all tests to do, what all scans to do. And that we do in coordination with the concerned oncologist who's treating. And that is given, and then we follow up with the patients. Hey, it's due. Come on, don't relax. Get it done to be safe. So that's how it is. So we do that. Then you see, there are certain immunizations that a cancer patient must take. Okay. That again, I find that it's not being really done in most commonly. It's not being done.
So you mean that is not usually being done at the follow-ups with what?
No, it's not being done. You see, I had a personal experience of this. Yeah. What happened was I landed up with shingles after 2 or 3 years of my treatment. I landed up with shingles, and then when I read up, I found that hey, there are vaccinations for shingles.
Right.
If only I had taken, I would not have suffered. I was in bed for 1.5 months with shingles and a whole lot of pain and suffering unnecessary.
Right.
So the point is simple to understand for all of us is that every cancer survivor's immunity systems have gone down.
Yeah.
And therefore, his chances of catching infections, his chances of catching new disease is much, much faster. So therefore, we must protect these people. And by giving certain necessary vaccinations, there are adult vaccinations also. In fact, in India, we don't have this, adult vaccination routines, right, which are there abroad. Right. But here we need to do that also for cancer survivors, so that they do not get trapped with new disease. Mm-hmm. So, like in my case, I told you about shingles. Now, that's that part of it, medical part of it. Then the other part is also the lifestyle. Now, you see, a cancer patient has gone through quite a bit of rigmarole in all this treatment and everything. So his mental and physical state is quite disturbed by the time he is finishing. You know, he has run a marathon race and is absolutely tired. So now the point is that we must bring it back. So for that, we must give him guidance on the right lifestyle. In that lifestyle, exercise is coming in, your weight training is coming in, because you see your body has become weak, your muscles have become weak.
Sure.
So therefore exercise, muscle building, then you have there are again certain side effects of cancer treatment also. So to counter that, how to and what all to do. So meditation, yoga, so all these things we will prescribe, seeing the condition of the cancer survivor. So that's what we do. The other thing that we also advise on is your nutrition and diet, because that also plays a very important role. In fact, some people believe that nutrition can even cure cancer. That also some people believe, because you see, in my time, I had met a dietitian and she told me that, Mr. Jain, why are you worried? I'll just give you a new diet and you'll get cured.
And what
so no. See, I don't believe in all that, but
Right.
I didn't take it. But
Right.
fine. But yes, there are certain foods that fight cancer. There are certain foods that promote cancer. So somebody has to tell the cancer survivor, hey, this is what happens. So if awareness is there, and if somebody tells you, then you can take these prevention and precautions, so that the chances of recurrence is reduced. I do not say that you will not get back the disease, but your chances are reducing with every step that you take. For example, another thing I'll tell you, it has been found that those who are having a high BMI, those who are overweight, their chances of getting cancer is more. Therefore, I must make the survivor aware of this. Look, you better watch out your weight, your BMI. So like that, we guide. Therefore, all these steps, and there's several other things also, which we will keep on assessing and doing. See his emotional state. Suppose somebody is in depression. It's very highly, a whole lot of people get into depression. So we pull them out of it. So how do you pull them out of it? So that also separate assessment is done. And then we advise them on that also. So like that, there are very many things.
Yeah, because I think what you just said, that this entire process of so many checkpoints that a survivor needs to keep a track on, and whether it is diet, nutrition, to mental health, to the immunization, which is so important. And as you said, that the doctors usually team it as follow-ups, and over here it is like they are monitored, because you make sure that they come back in that 5-year plan that you execute for them. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what the survivors is all about. And I think it's a phenomenal, knowledge and care and support that Salilji, you're giving them. But one important question which someone just asked is, where does family play a role in all this? As in, when a person is diagnosed with cancer, and the journey, the battle starts, do you have any counseling with the family as well? And what have you found over your years with the identifying this disease? What can you say about the syndrome that the family experiences?
Yes, family plays a very, very vital role. Family plays a very, very vital role. In fact, in my own case, I was extremely fortunate to have a very, very strong support from my wife and my children. And you see, that keeps a cancer survivor going. See, because you're fighting the battle internally, you're disturbed, and you're fighting the battle internally, you see. Now, when you have the support of your family, then they are giving you the energy, the positive energy to, keep walking and keep running the marathon. So that's extremely vital. That's very, very vital. And also, let me tell you that as much as the cancer survivor gets fatigued, so also the family gets fatigued. The caregivers, as they are called, the caregivers also get fatigued. And therefore, we also advise the caregivers, we take care of the caregivers also as to what all they should do, they should not do, so that they can also carry on in the marathon, because they have to also run along with the patient. So it's not alone. The survivors are not alone. So therefore, as much as one has to attend to the survivor, the caregivers also have to be attended to. So it's very vital, very important.
Very important. And if I have to ask you, which again a viewer is asking, is where did you get your confidence back from to start so much that you are now sharing with everyone in form of a very coordinated workforce and a project? And where did you get your confidence back from? Because you have also, done extensive research in it. You have gone through the processes yourself. Identifying what is right, what is wrong, and then now getting your confidence back and running the marathon again, as you say. So the viewers definitely want to hear that insight from you as to how did you buck up so that maybe they can follow suit.
Well, you see, the first thing is that I always tell myself that live each day as there is none tomorrow. Now, you see, having gone through cancer, what also happens is that you get a different perspective of life. You see, having, seen death with such close quarters, it changes your mindset. It changes you. You see, that is what happens. So, every day, there are two things that are happening. One, I tell myself that, look, live each day as if there's none tomorrow. Who knows tomorrow? Actually, why only cancer? Now, what I've realized is that it is so very true for all of us. Why only cancer patient? What's so big about cancer? You see. Now, you see, healthy person goes out, morning walk, somebody comes and hits him and he goes. So, you see, life is absolutely uncertain. I say that, look, past has gone, future is unknown. The only truth is today, or even I would say the only truth is now. And therefore, make the most of now, live it out. So that's the way I have taken it. And of course, now, my mission is to help cancer survivors and to give this knowledge, impart it far and wide, so that people get benefit out of it. They can take care of themselves and enjoy life better. So that's the idea.
What is one common advice, if I ask you, what do you want to, or what you give to the survivors or people in general who get diagnosed with the disease? What would you say?
Well, I would always say that, just enjoy your life, and to enjoy your life, you have to first love yourself. See, what is happening to us, at least what has happened to me, I mean, I can speak from my experience. See, in our Indian society and Indian culture, what happens is that we are always seeing in our family to take care of others before yourself. For example, a mother, she takes care of herself last.
And today happens to be Mother's Day.
And today happens to be the Mother's Day, right? So she gives her life and all the time to her children, and she doesn't spend time for herself. In fact, you'll be surprised that I have come across mothers who have got breast cancer, but do not reveal it to the family in spite of knowing that they are having it. Why?
What is the
Because
reason?
their husband was not feeling all right. Husband is undergoing some treatment. They say, no, 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 let my husband undergo the treatment. Let me not trouble them. And this lady, she started having carrot juice because somewhere somebody told her that carrot juice cures cancer. So she kept on having carrot juice to hope, in a hope to cure herself. And it grew. And after a year, she had no choice but to tell people. So therefore, I would say that in such a scenario, we do not love ourselves. So we must learn to love ourselves as much as we love our family and others. So love yourself, take care of yourself, look after your health,
Then only we
because
can look
then,
after the others
yes,
in
yeah,
our
then
family.
health is wealth. The true health, see today even in coronavirus, what is happening? No amount of money, no amount of technical advancement, and nothing is working, you see. It's just nothing is working. Those who have good health, life is for them.
Sure.
Nothing else matters, right?
So
So that's
this,
the way.
another one very interesting question, Salilji, is that you follow the standard protocols and you believe in that when it comes to treating the vital disease. But what do you have to say about the alternate treatments like Ayurveda and homeopathy? What can you say about that?
Oh, thank you so much for asking this question. This is one of the very, very, very vital information I would say that I would like to share. During the course of my journey, I have seen not one, but very many cases which have got spoiled because of following these unknown, medications. Now, see, basically, what happens is that cancer is a very, very serious disease. I even say that cancer does not give you a second chance. Why? It does not give you, chance to undo wrong steps that you would have taken. What happens is that, it keeps on growing, it keeps on developing inside your body on a regular basis. Now, if suppose you've given some medication which doesn't work, whether it is, let it be any type, allopathic, homeopathic, anything, the cancer keeps growing. It is not that it starts reversing. So now, when you give some medication which is not proven to be working and you do not know the success rate, then what happens? The cancer keeps on growing inside you.
Yeah.
So in 2, 3, 4 months, when you realize that, hey, it's not working, let me now go to the allopathy, then what happens at the time? The doctor says, hey, you're too late. Now he cannot undo those 3 months of growth, So you've lost vital time and an opportunity to cure yourself. So therefore, it's not a matter of allopathic or homeopathic or Ayurveda. It's not that. See, I have seen many, not one, many cases. See, in fact, I've met some of these, so to say, vets, and I've asked them, sir, what is the success rate? Do you maintain the statistics? They say, no, what is the necessity? Why should I maintain statistics? See, so many people are coming, 50 people, 100 people are coming every day. If it was not working, they will not come to me. So that's not the way you can approach a disease like cancer. It doesn't work. So therefore, I would say that never, never, never try unproven techniques or medications in cancer. It's not worth it. You have to pay a very heavy price for it, number one. Number two, another interesting thing that I have come across is that some people get so affected by these talks of Ayurveda, homeopathic, or say wheatgrass juice or cow urine. So many are there, not one, but plenty of them in the market. So what they do is that while having chemotherapy, they will start having even these medications. And these people, they tell you, no, no, yes, yes, you can have my medication also. And while you are having chemo, it will not affect the chemo. Don't worry, everything will be fine. I have seen cases which have got thoroughly spoiled after having these two together. See, there are no research papers available You ask any doctor, there's no research paper available which has said what happens to the disease or what happens to the body when you take both these two things together.
Yeah.
So therefore, why do I take a chance? I should not. It's not wise to do it, right? So I would request everybody that do not take both the things together. If you have too much of faith in some particular medicine, then please go ahead and take that. There are success stories in all these types of treatments also, but unfortunately they are not documented well. Unfortunately, we do not know their success rate. So what do we do now? Should we take a chance? It's a matter of life and death, no?
Yes, true.
So not worth it, not worth it.
So, Salilji,
I'm a firm believer. Yeah.
yes, and Salilji, in your experience of treating so many survivors who are reaching out to you, I would want you to share probably one story which is there with you, which you feel you must share with your viewers so that they understand the importance of cancer survivorship and why people should take other to it, and not just let it go just because they feel that the operation is done and now they have to go for the usual follow-ups. They should understand the difference what you're talking about today. So if one important example, maybe you can just keep it anonymous and if you could share.
Right. Okay. So, there are so many aspects of cancer survivorship which is attended to. But let me just share with you one which shows the results of the emotional support that is extended to the survivor as well as the family. Now, here was a case which was, I would say a very bad case. It was in the last stage. The patient had been going in for a long time. Now, you see, the doctors told that now the road has come to an end and he wouldn't survive for long. Now, the family got so upset that all four of them, a family of 5, the patient as well as 4 members, the family of 4 decided to commit suicide so that they said, we can't bear the patient go. So sorry, we'll all go together, no problem. Now, you see, fortunately, because we were in close touch with them, they opened up and told us their thoughts. And I'm happy to tell you that from that stage, we could pull them out of it. And today, the patient has expired, but all the family members are around and living happily. We continue to support them, and they are happy. They have accepted the member, going. So this is one example that I can give you. There's so many. I mean, we have a whole lot of them, and we don't have the time to keep going through it. But yeah, this is one of the examples.
This is a very heartwarming story. But then definitely how you tackle the emotional crisis as well, because I think that is so important to first attend to, because based on that is so much of strength which is depending on is first to cater to that mental strength. And that brings me to my next question, that in your survivorship, like the survivors does so much towards immunization and the follow-ups, the checkups, the immunization, everything put together. Do you think you gave a lot of importance to mental health, because that forms like the will to live, the hope and the faith to survive?
Yes, that's the most important, I would say. Classic, I would say that I am a living example of that. Why?
And I want to add to it the question that you yourself being a survivor, pardon me for saying this, but
Yeah.
every day, because of your patients, you are meeting them, you are reading them, you are talking to them. How do you find your strength amongst all this? Because every day you're probably coming through so many different stories and cases, and some at last stages, and you yourself are going through this experience. Doesn't it pull you down? I mean, how do you maintain that level where you can impart the positivity? So yes, I want to ask you about the mental health.
Yeah. See, as far as I'm concerned, meeting patients on a regular basis, in fact, it doesn't pull me down. It's the other way around. It pulls me up. Why?
Probably I knew the answer much before you said, but I wanted you to answer that. Yeah.
Now, you see, why does it happen? Because, see, when I go and meet the cancer survivors, then, and when they get to know and they get to see me, then they are always absolutely encouraged to fight, because they are seeing the result of fighting, of running the marathon race. When I tell them that I have gone through, I'm a cancer survivor, they're shocked. They say, "What? We can't make out that you are a cancer survivor." I said, "Yes, of course. I'm 7 years old." So, what happens is that it gives a lot of hope to a cancer survivor. And therefore, since he starts feeling better, not one, but many every day, then it gives me the strength and the joy. And, it gives me the will and the wish to carry on and to be, better. So that's as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And what was your second question?
My first was that about the mental health. I mean, do you have
Yes.
some specific design therapies for it? How do
Yes.
you cater to that?
Yeah. So you see, mental health plays an extremely important role in going through the treatment. Now, patient must have faith that yes, it's going to work. See, there are a lot of research papers which are around, and one can read. In fact, I've read a very good book I could recommend. It's called The Emerging Mind, where they have shown the effect of mind over medicine. So therefore, what happens is that you must understand that if you are positive and if you have faith in the treatment, then you will get cured. And I'm a living example of that, because from day one, I thought, yes, modern medicines, modern techniques, I am going to get cured. And here I am, 7 years disease free, right? So therefore, that is very, very important. Now, how do you develop that? That's the next thing that comes up. So therefore, see, for me, fortunately, I was blessed that I could, the more I read and the more I understood, the more I could, get into the positive field, so to say, and I had that faith. Now, for the others, we have very heavily, we counsel them, and we, also seeing me, they are able to change their mindset. They are able to trust that, yes, it's going to work. And of course, in serious cases, we have our own specialists who would attend to them and, bring them out of it. So, but most of the cases I find that once they see me and, they listen to me, most of them get convinced. And, a whole lot of patients, in fact, one of the patients says that you are my idol and I am going to become like you. So, he's undergoing treatment right now. And every day he'll call me and every day he'll talk to me that, "Mr. Jain, I want to become like you. I'm having this, I'm having that problem. What do I do? What do I do?" And I have to keep, ushering him on. That's the way it is.
That is so inspiring, Salil ji. And on that note, I have
Yeah.
this viewer who is very well known to you and me both. I'm sure you know whom I'm speaking about. And she is asking you a question when we talked about alternate medication. That do you
Yes.
think spirituality is an alternate therapy or a vital therapy?
Well, of course, spiritual therapy is excellent. There is no doubt about it. And it helps you to calm you down. It helps you to, have that faith. It helps you to, keep going on, keep running the race.
Yeah.
So spirituality is one of the vital tools, I would say, to have the, mental strength. Yes, definitely.
And Salilji, I come across this beautiful tagline that you said, that is, there is more to life. Cancer, so what? There is more to life. So I really want to ask you, Salilji, what is there to life?
Well, uh, there's so much to live for, right? There's so much to live. Life is so very amazing, so very interesting. You see, there are so many things around. You see God's creation, lovely world that He has made. So many animals, trees, flowers, amazing creations, right? You don't have any explanation for it. You have human beings who have created so many things, so many wonders all over the world. Then, right in your own house, you have your family, you have your relationships, which are giving you, showering you with love and affection. So it gives you so much of joy and happiness, right? There's so much to see, there's so much to do, there's so much to learn all over. Why the hell should I break down myself and say there's nothing in life just because I have cancer? No, not at all. I had cancer, it's a history, it's gone. Now I shall enjoy life. I shall live life. That's the thing that I would say. That is why I said that there's more to life, because it's not only cancer, it's not only about cancer. Okay, fine, you had cancer, it's over, it's gone. If it comes back, we shall see. Why to bog myself down with it? Let me be vigilant, but
that is so inspiring,
yeah.
Salilji. And probably my takeaway from today's conversation that I've had with you is more that, probably with what I started, that you have to be involved with your disease. You cannot be scared. You have to just face it. You have to be aware with what treatments you're getting. You have to be very transparent to it. And yes, viewers, if you know that someone else has already done your job, it is Mr. Salil Jain, and he has his amazing project, his foundation, his entity, which is called the Survivors. And so, Salilji, I just want you to say from your own words how they can reach to you through your website. Where all are you based? Are you operating just out of Bangalore? So that would be, and definitely viewers, anyone who wants to reach Salilji through me, I am definitely there. I can pass over the number. And yes, Salilji, but some information more about your organization, please.
Yeah, we are right now based out of Bangalore. In fact, let me also tell you that recently we have launched the Cancer Survivorship Program at Manipal Hospitals, Bangalore. I had shown them the reports and whatever we are doing in our cancer survivorship program that I have developed. They were very happy seeing it, and they have asked us to implement it in their hospital. So we have started that. So you can also, I'm available at Manipal Hospital also now, Bangalore, Old Airport Road. And of course, our website is there, and on the website, phone numbers are also there. And of course, my phone numbers also can be there. There's no issues at all. It's always a pleasure to help somebody. And but of course, though we are operating out of Bangalore, but I have been supporting patients all over the country, in various cities, because now with the video and phone, yes, with video phones and all that, one can do it. And in fact, I have been, supporting a lot of patients who are outstation. A lot of them, we have been doing that. Yes.
So thank you so much, Salilji. That is actually so inspiring. But yes, what I probably picked up from today's conversation is that will empower you. That's what I call hope. And if we have hope and belief and the will, anything is possible. And we must, on one hand, accept the disappointments which are finite, but never lose the end of the infinite hope. because I think we can beat cancer not just by how we live, but why we want to live and in the manner that we can live. That is very, very important. And what I always say in my speech is, when you say there is more to life, and I have once said in my speech that one should live to the end, and to the end when you explode, each atom and molecule in your body turns around and tells you, hey dude, you really lived your life. And because I believe in that, and that's why I say I don't live king size, I live queen size, because that is all about me. And Salilji, I think I'm so inspired, and I hope you like the conversation that I've had with you today. And I really hope that people reach out to me and directly to you if they need counseling on cancer survivorship, because it forms an integral part of the treatment, which somewhere is getting lost.
Yes, you're right. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And it was absolutely wonderful discussion. And I'm happy to note your views on life and how you are living. I'm so happy to learn that.
Yes,
And
sir.
yes, and I would say that let's thrive, let's
Yes.
thrive.
Let's
Why should we
try
only live?
and always keep jive, because the jive has to be on. And I think it's a pleasure that I got connected to you. And thank you so much for being with me today. And just stay happy, keep blessing everyone around you. And I want you to know that you are truly an inspiration.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Salilji. It was lovely talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. My pleasure. Thank you.